There comes a time in the midst of the great performance of your life, a moment that arrives not with a thunderclap, but with the quietness of falling snow. It is the moment you look at the script you have been following with such devotion, and the words suddenly become a foreign language. The stage is familiar, the props are all in place, the other actors are reciting their lines just as they always have, but you, in the center of it all, have forgotten the play. You realize, with a slow, creeping certainty that is more disorienting than any sudden shock, that you no longer know what you were doing. This is not the simple amnesia of a forgotten appointment or a misplaced set of keys. This is a profound and fundamental forgetting. The grand narrative you have constructed, the story of who you are, where you have been, and where you are going, dissolves like a sandcastle at high tide. The job that once defined your worth, the relationships that formed the pillars of your identity, the ambitions that fueled your every morning, they stand before you now as empty sets, beautifully constructed but devoid of the spirit that once gave them meaning. You go through the motions, you say the right words, you smile at the appropriate cues, but a part of you is standing in the wings, watching this actor perform, and wondering what the point of it all truly is. The first instinct, of course, is panic. It is a primal fear, the terror of the void. For your entire life, you have been taught that the map is the territory, that the plan is the journey. The mind, the great cartographer of our lives, has spent years drawing lines, naming destinations, and calculating the most efficient routes. Your identity is a collection of these maps, these stories of success and failure, of striving and achieving. To lose the map, then, feels like being cast adrift in an infinite, featureless ocean. The mind screams for a landmark, a star to navigate by, a new shoreline to swim towards, and so you begin to struggle. You frantically search for a new script, a new play to join. You chase new ambitions, new relationships, new systems of belief, anything to fill the deafening silence that has opened up within you. You fill your days with noise, with endless tasks and distractions, hoping to drown out the quiet whisper that asks, "Who are you without your story?" You try to think your way out of the fog, to analyze the confusion into submission, to build a new, more robust intellectual fortress around yourself. But the more you struggle, the more exhausted you become. The more you grasp for certainty, the more it slips through your fingers like water. You are like a man who has fallen into a swift river, and in his terror tries to swim against the current. He thrashes and fights, exhausting his strength, believing that his effort is the only thing keeping him from drowning. But he doesn't realize that the struggle itself is what's pulling him under. The true art would be to let go, to turn over on his back and trust the current. The river, after all, knows its way to the ocean. This moment of not knowing is that river. It is not a mistake in the system. It is the system itself, working perfectly. It is life's profound and compassionate way of clearing away what is no longer true for you. It is a sacred fire that burns away the dead wood of old identities and outgrown beliefs to make space for new growth. You see, the person you thought you were was a construct, a beautiful and intricate costume that you had been wearing for so long you mistook it for your own skin. And now, life is gently, or perhaps not so gently, asking you to take it off. The shedding of a skin is a moment of profound vulnerability. It is uncomfortable, it is disorienting, and it leaves you feeling raw and exposed. But it is the only way to grow. This is the great secret that the sages and mystics have spoken of through the ages. They called it beginner's mind, or the cloud of unknowing. They understood that not knowing is not a state of ignorance, but a state of radical openness. Ignorance is a closed door, believing it already holds the truth. Not knowing is an open doorway, ready to receive whatever may come. It is the end of pretending and the beginning of seeing. It is the moment you stop telling the universe who you are
and for the first time, allow the universe to show you.
And in this allowance, something miraculous begins to shift. You stop being the choreographer of your life, desperately trying to plan every step and control every outcome, and you begin to become the dancer. The choreographer is fraught with anxiety, obsessed with perfection, terrified of a misstep. The dancer, however, is one with the music. The dancer doesn't think about the next step. The dancer feels it. The dancer trusts the rhythm, the flow, the unfolding of the moment. There is no destination to reach, only the dance itself. When you surrender to this dance, you begin to notice the music that was playing all along, drowned out by the noise of your own striving. You feel the pulse of life in your own heartbeat, a rhythm that has been beating faithfully since before you could even form a thought. You notice the quiet intelligence in the way a tree reaches for the sun, the way the seasons turn without your command, the way your lungs breathe in and out without your permission. All of this is happening, has always been happening, as a perfect, self-unfolding process. You were never in control. Your belief that you were was the only source of your tension. Life doesn't need your management. It only needs your participation. And participation is not about effort, it is about presence. It is about showing up for this moment, just as it is, without needing it to be different. It is to let go of the war against what is, and to find peace in its embrace. This confusion, this emptiness you feel is not a void. It is a space. It is a sacred pause. And into this space, life begins to rush in. The synchronicities start to appear, not as random miracles, but as the natural echoes of a universe in harmony. You meet the right person at the right time. You stumble upon the book that contains the very words you needed to hear. The opportunities you once chased with such desperation now arrive at your doorstep effortlessly. You realize the world was never withholding its gifts from you. You were simply too busy trying to break down the door to notice it was already open. And in this quiet space, you begin to see the world not through the filter of your plans and desires, but as it truly is, a radiant, shimmering mystery. The most ordinary acts become sacred. The washing of a dish becomes a meditation on water and form. A walk in the woods becomes a conversation with an intelligence far older than your own. A simple conversation with a friend, stripped of the need to prove or persuade, becomes an act of true communion. You realize that the search for a meaningful life was the very thing obscuring the meaning that was present in every moment. Life was never about becoming something. It was always about remembering what you already are. You are not a separate self struggling against the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. The feeling of being lost was only the dream of the wave, forgetting it was part of the ocean. When you stop fighting the current, you remember the vast, boundless nature of your own being. This doesn't mean the questions go away. The great mysteries of life and death, of love and suffering, they remain. But they no longer torment you. They're no longer problems to be solved, but stars in the night sky of your awareness, silent, beautiful, and perfect in their distance. You no longer need to have all the answers because you have become comfortable living in the question. And in that, a new kind of freedom is born, not the freedom of rebellion, of breaking the rules, but the quiet, profound freedom of alignment. You realize you were never supposed to have it all figured out. You were supposed to fall apart again and again until you saw that there was nothing to hold together in the first place. The self you were trying so desperately to protect was a ghost, a collection of memories and fears. The falling apart was the process of that ghost dissolving, leaving only the quiet, luminous presence that you truly are.
You begin to trust this presence. It is a trust that is not blind, but deeply seeing. It is the trust of the flower in the seed, the trust of the river in the ocean. It is a living, breathing faith, not in a future outcome, but in the unfolding process of now. It means stepping forward without a map, not out of recklessness, but because you have realized that the journey itself creates the path. It means opening your heart, not because you are guaranteed not to be hurt, but because you understand that a closed heart is already a kind of death. From this place, you may still wake up some mornings and feel the old fog of uncertainty, but it no longer frightens you. You have learned to recognize it as a holy ground, a fertile darkness where new life is gestating. You know now that certainty is the end of curiosity, and curiosity is the very pulse of existence. You begin to thank the very confusion you once cursed, for you see how it kept you awake, how it kept you humble, how it prevented you from falling asleep in the comfortable prison of a finished story. And so you live. You live more gently. You listen more deeply. You speak less, but with more truth. You become less interested in convincing and more interested in connecting. You see that every other person you meet is also on their own uncertain path, and this recognition breeds a deep, unspoken compassion. You stop measuring your worth by your achievements, because you've seen how hollow success is when it isn't aligned with the quiet joy of being. This, then, is the grace of not knowing. It is not an end, but an invitation. It is the doorway back to what is real. And perhaps this is the only awakening there truly is, to remember what you knew before the world taught you to forget. The moment you stop demanding that life makes sense, it begins to, not in the rigid lines of logic, but in the flowing, unpredictable poetry of wonder. Not in certainty, but in peace. You smile, not because everything is perfect, but because it doesn't need to be. You are no longer waiting for your life to begin. You realize it has been happening all along, in every breath, in every heartbeat, in every moment of this beautiful, terrible, mysterious dance. And you see that you are not the dancer, separate from the music. You are the music itself. You are the dance. And you have always, always been free.